Want to know how to transform your routine and achieve dream success? Imagine waking up in a luxury apartment in the city center where every detail contributes to a perfect life. The aroma of fresh coffee, the day's news at your fingertips, and a refreshing run through tree-lined avenues. This was Ethan's routine, who achieved success, comfort, and stability. He is proof that achieving this life is possible with the right choices. Want to know how he did it? Let's discover together the secrets to creating your version of this reality. But what if I told you that behind this impeccable facade, there was a deep emptiness in his eyes, a shadow that even the city's brightness couldn't dissipate? In this video, we will reveal the hidden secrets behind an apparently perfect life and how discovering the true meaning of happiness can completely change your perspective. Get ready, because what you are about to see will transform the way you view your own life. At the office, Ethan was a rising star. The corporate environment applauded him, and his boss frequently highlighted his talent in meetings. Each compliment, however, sounded hollow in his ears. He felt that his true essence was locked away, suffocated by expectations and the need to fit in. The creative ideas bubbling in his mind were often set aside, replaced by strategies that pleased the market, but not himself. It was during a coffee break that Ethan reconnected with Liam, a childhood friend. Liam led a life many would consider modest, but there was a light in his eyes that Ethan hadn't seen in anyone for a long time. The conversation began with school-time reminiscences, but soon took a deeper turn. Liam, with his clear and direct vision, asked Ethan if he was truly happy. "Do you live for yourself or for others?" Liam questioned with a welcoming yet firm smile. The question resonated with Ethan like an echo in an empty valley. He realized that despite all his achievements, he had distanced himself from his true passions. Liam's authenticity strongly contrasted with the facade he had built over the years. Ethan felt a restlessness grow within him, an urgent need to reevaluate his choices and rediscover what truly mattered. At that moment, the seed of doubt was planted. Ethan began to question whether the life he was living was truly the one he desired. Liam's words were a catalyst for deeper reflection on his values and desires. The journey of self-discovery was just beginning, promising challenges and revelations that could change his perspective forever. Ethan reconnected with old friends, which awakened an intense curiosity and a desire for transformation. He realized that material success did not fill the void he felt and began to seek something more meaningful. As the city pulsed around him, a new rhythm emerged within, bringing the promise of profound changes. Ethan spent the following days immersed in reflection, revisiting every decision that had brought him to that point. Liam's words echoed in his mind, challenging him to confront the reality that his life was shaped by others' expectations. The realization that his choices were guided more by external approval than personal desire began to weigh on him, like a truth he could no longer ignore. Determined to seek authenticity, Ethan decided to explore his true passions. However, the idea of breaking away from the established routine and facing the unknown brought palpable fear. The possible consequences of following his heart, like disappointing his boss or losing the stability he had achieved, haunted him. Despite this, Ethan took the first step. On a Saturday afternoon, he walked into a craft store and bought painting materials. In the silence of his apartment, he began to paint. With each brush stroke, he felt an almost forgotten joy, a deep connection with something greater than himself. The vibrant colors that emerged on the canvas reflected a piece of his soul, bringing him a sense of freedom and fulfillment he hadn't experienced in a long time. The search for authenticity didn't stop there. One night, while walking through the neighborhood, Ethan heard live music coming from a small cafe. Curious, he entered and discovered a group of amateur musicians gathered. Without hesitation, he accepted the invitation to join them, and while playing guitar, he felt incredibly alive and connected. The music flowed through him, creating invisible bonds with those around him, and for a few hours, the outside world disappeared. However, this new creative life began to create a chasm between Ethan and his work environment. The tasks he once performed easily now seemed distant and meaningless. He found himself increasingly disconnected from the people and goals of the company, as if living two parallel lives, one of conformity and another of passion. Determined to seek support, Ethan gathered the courage to have an honest conversation with his family. During a dinner, he shared his discoveries and the desire to follow his true passions. The initial reaction was surprise, but it soon transformed into genuine support. His parents and siblings, although concerned about the changes this might bring, recognized the importance of Ethan being true to himself. The words of encouragement and understanding he received were a relief, strengthening his determination to move forward. With each step, Ethan moved closer to a life that resonated with his true essence. The awakening to who he really was and what he truly wanted became clearer, promising a journey of self-discovery and fulfillment that he could hardly wait to continue. The week began with palpable tension in the air. At the office, Ethan's boss, a pragmatic and observant man, quickly noticed the change in his employees' behavior. In a private meeting, he confronted Ethan about his evident lack of interest in daily tasks. Feeling cornered, Ethan decided to be honest. He admitted he wasn't happy and was considering leaving the job to pursue something that truly fulfilled him. The boss's reaction was initially surprise, but it soon turned to concern for the team's productivity and stability. This honesty, although liberating, had its consequences. Some friends and colleagues couldn't understand the changes Ethan was going through. The distancing from people who were once part of his daily routine brought a painful sense of rejection. However, alongside this pain came the freedom to be authentic. Ethan realized that by letting go of masks, he was getting closer to who he really was, even if it meant losing some old connections. Determined to find his tribe, Ethan began attending art and music events. Exhibitions, small shows, and cultural gatherings became a regular part of his schedule. At these events, he met people who not only shared his passions, but also understood his journey of self-discovery. This new community offered support and inspiration, helping Ethan feel less alone in his quest for authenticity. However, transitioning to a life more aligned with his passions brought financial challenges. Balancing the work that paid his bills with the activities that fed his soul became an arduous task. Ethan realized he needed to find a way to sustain his new life without compromising his pursuit of happiness and personal fulfillment. The pressure of reconciling his financial responsibilities with his creative dreams began to weigh on him. Each choice seemed loaded with risk, but also with potential for growth. Ethan knew he needed to find a path that would allow him to live according to his passions without sacrificing his stability. This quest led him to explore new opportunities, consider alternative sources of income, and continue believing that, in the end, following his heart would be worth it. The internal and external conflict Ethan faced was intense, but it was also the fuel that propelled him forward. He was determined to turn his difficulties into steps toward a more authentic and satisfying life, knowing that each challenge overcome brought him closer to his true self. Ethan was in his makeshift studio, immersed in the colors and shapes emerging on his canvases, when he received an unexpected email. A local gallery, known for supporting emerging artists, was interested in exhibiting his paintings. The news brought a wave of emotions, excitement, nervousness, and a deep sense of validation. It was as if the universe was confirming that he was on the right path. The night of the exhibition arrived, and Ethan found himself surrounded by his works, each representing a piece of his personal journey. New and old friends, family, and even strangers filled the gallery. As he walked through the space, observing people's reactions, he felt complete fulfillment. For the first time in many years, Ethan was being true to himself, and the happiness it brought was indescribable. he realized that authenticity was the key to his happiness. The exhibition's success was overwhelming. Compliments came from all directions, and Ethan found himself surrounded by a community that not only appreciated his art, but also understood and supported his transformation. New friends, artists, and art enthusiasts encouraged him to continue exploring his passions. Each word of support strengthened his determination to follow his heart. Inspired by the success and support he had received, Ethan made a crucial decision. He spoke with his boss and explained his need to better balance his corporate responsibilities with his artistic passions. He proposed reducing his work hours, dedicating more time to art and music. To his surprise, the boss, who initially showed concern over Ethan's change, demonstrated understanding and accepted the proposal, respecting his desire to seek a more balanced and meaningful life. With his new routine, Ethan found a harmonious balance between his responsibilities and his passions. Mornings were dedicated to corporate work, where he still contributed with his talent and experience, but without the overwhelming pressure of before. Afternoons and evenings were reserved for painting and music, where he allowed himself to explore his creativity without restrictions. Ethan's transformation was profound and inspiring. He learned that following his passions didn't mean abandoning his responsibilities, but rather integrating them so that both could coexist. The journey wasn't easy, but each step brought him closer to an authentic and satisfying life. Ethan discovered that true happiness lay in being true to himself, and this realization transformed not only his life, but also the way he viewed the world around him. The road ahead was still uncertain, but Ethan was prepared to face it with courage and determination. He knew that regardless of the challenges that arose, staying true to his passions and values would always be the best choice. And so, with a heart full of hope and a mind open to new possibilities, Ethan continued his journey of self-discovery and fulfillment, ready to embrace each new chapter of his life. Ethan's transformation was just beginning to blossom. Determined to share the joys he found in his passions, he began teaching painting and music classes. Each class was an opportunity for him to help others express themselves, to find the same freedom he had discovered. Seeing his students evolve, each finding their own artistic voice, brought deep satisfaction and a new purpose to his life. Over time, Ethan also rebuilt his relationships with friends and family. Now, these connections were based on honesty and authenticity. Conversations were deeper, bonds stronger. He realized that by being true to himself, he was allowing others to see who he truly was, and this created a solid foundation for more meaningful relationships. Gradually, Ethan realized that his journey of self-discovery not only brought happiness to him, but also inspired those around him. Friends began to pursue their own passions, colleagues reconsidered their priorities, and even strangers, touched by his story, began making changes in their lives. Ethan's authenticity became a flame that illuminated the path for many. Feeling more connected to his community, Ethan organized an art and music event, bringing together people from different backgrounds to celebrate authenticity. The event was a success, a vibrant mosaic of artistic expressions reflecting the diversity and beauty of individual quests for meaning. Ethan saw the joy and connection in the faces around him and knew he was on the right path. Ethan's journey caught the attention of many, and he was invited to give a talk on the importance of being true to oneself. In a packed auditorium, he shared his story, the struggles, and the victories. Ethan's words resonated deeply with the audience, inspiring many to reconsider their own lives and seek their true passions. Reflecting on his transformation, Ethan felt deep gratitude. He realized how much he had grown and changed, and how each step, no matter how difficult, had brought him closer to a full and meaningful life. The courage to follow his heart had been worth it, and he was determined to continue living according to his true passions. Ethan, now fully realized, continued to explore and expand his artistic and musical skills. He knew that the journey of self-discovery was continuous, and that each day brought new opportunities to grow and connect with the world around him. The key to a happy and meaningful life, he discovered, was to be authentic and true to oneself, and this truth would guide his steps forever.